How has he changed? I think the basic difference is that he now feels that Earth is his home, that he's not a visitor from outer space, that he doesn't hang back as much as he used to anymore. My whole attitude was that Superman is in the background, basically saying, you guys figure it out, I'm not supposed to get involved here, but if you really have a problem, you know, I'll be there. So in the 50s, I think, you know, it was a B-picture kind of time. The Untouchables was playing, you know, all these kind of action-adventure things. It was a much more, you know, post-World War II. The male image was different. John Wayne was a big star, Kirk Douglas, and they emphasized at that time Superman, the action hero, as a crusader, you know, the fighting for a truth, just in the American way. And I take a much more, I think, laid-back 70s, 80s attitude towards it, which is like, listen, if you really have a problem, I'm on the other end of the phone.
But in this film, you're more of an advocate, though.
No, he's still hanging back, and they have to call him out, and the kid, he's petitioned by a kid, and he goes through a lot of soul-searching and finally says, okay, Ryan, I think this is a good move, I'll do it.
I wasn't going to originally go watch this film because I read so many online reviews and the ratings were so low that I was like, it's not worth it to go watch this movie because, you know, it's 2026, going to the cinema costs an arm and a leg, and so I was like, not worth it. But then I actually did go to the cinema and I did watch it, and I was surprised by how okay the movie was. They were making it sound like it was the worst movie ever, and it's a good comic book movie. And which brings me to my point of like, it's very hard to talk about this movie without talking about its reception and online conversation. This movie in particular, it's hard to distinguish its own qualities from the online conversations, which brings me to this idea of like online men and incel like worshippers and edgelords talking about movies and stuff like that. Supergirl is a very interesting character because she's so associated with Superman, and Superman is associated with the idea of the Übermensch, right? Now, when I say Übermensch, I don't mean the Nietzschean idea of like, oh, like the individual whose willpower is so strong that reality kind of bends around them, you know? I mean to say that when people think of Superman, not all, but like certain people, when they think about Superman, they're thinking about the fascistic Übermensch, where, you know, this one dominant man dominates everything and his power is so strong that no villain or other hero can fight him, sort of thing. And when Superman is mirrored as a woman, some people lose it. Now again, I don't want to reduce the criticisms of the movie just to be like, oh, it's like people are sexist. It's not that. The movie has its own shortcomings, right? Like the cinematography at times when it's big fight scenes is bad, but then again when it's in small rooms, it's actually really well lit and directed. And the movie has problems with its villain. The villain is so one-noted, it's just cartoonishly evil. But then again, that brings me to my other point. This is a PG-13 movie. If you, like, 30-year-olds are being mad about a movie essentially made for children, for young, like, people, and like actually using it, then I don't know what to say. This is a popcorn flick. It is a fun popcorn flick for what it is, right? But it actually raises a good point in that can a PG-13 movie thoroughly explore ideas related with genocide, with prisoners of war, or particularly women, take it, you know, for exploitation, sexual exploitation, like that. Those are very heavy topics to thoroughly explore in a PG-13 movie, and so the movie kind of does fall flat in that regard. And so I think it has a problem of like what its audience is for and the themes it is exploring. It's a very hard balance, and I don't think the movie strikes a balance. That's why people talk about this movie and compare it to Mad Max, because in a lot of ways there are thematic parallels, but like it's not going to be the same. The two movies are different, and it's not explored in the same way, with the same gore, with the same heaviness. And so like the movie struggles a lot with this like Übermensch thing where it's like, you know, she's Supergirl, she's Kryptonian, she's strong, but at the same time she is human, she is struggling through emotions, she's lost her planet, her people, and it's angsty in a way, like the movie, but like it's fine, like it's angsty in a way where the character needs to go through these lessons, go through these fights to kind of transform their idea of looking at the world. And that's your very basic standard plot for superhero books. But so I really don't understand the hate that this movie is receiving. But it is a pretty okay film, and I'm very excited to see what Millie Alcock does in the future. She's a great actress, and I guess what I would say, what I would desire in an ideal world is a more fleshed out exploration of these themes and topics, right?